You will never rise above the image you hold of yourself, not because you're not capable, not because the world is unfair, but because belief is the boundary of all possibility. You can only build what your mind will allow, and most people are not building dreams, they're reinforcing their limitations. You become what you believe, not what you want, not what you hope, not what you pretend to chase in public. What you deeply, silently believe in the hidden chambers of your mind. That is what you are becoming every single day. Every thought, every emotion, every decision flows from that belief. And belief, whether strong or broken, becomes the architect of your destiny. When Napoleon Hill sat down to decode the secrets of the world's wealthiest men, he didn't find magic. He didn't find luck. He found belief. A definiteness of purpose backed by unwavering belief. Andrew Carnegie believed in the invisible long before the physical appeared. He believed in steel when others still believed in wood. He believed in building men just as fiercely as he believed in building bridges. And that belief reshaped the American economy. Henry Ford? He believed he could build a car for the common man. Before there were roads, before there were factories, before there were engines that could even make it possible, they called him crazy, they laughed, and yet here we are, driving in the vision of his belief. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. He was fired, broke, living in a mouse-infested studio, and he still believed. Do you understand what that means? Before the world saw the results, they saw nothing. But the men who changed the world were not moved by what they saw. They were moved by what they believed. Belief is the seed from which all results grow. And you are planting something with every thought you repeat. If you believe you are unworthy, your actions will follow. If you believe you are too late, you will stop before you start. If you believe success belongs to others, you will never fight for your share. But the moment you shift that belief, the moment you say, this life is mine, this destiny is mine, this future is mine to shape, you activate a force inside you that cannot be measured. Your mind is a projector. Whatever plays inside becomes the film of your life. You walk different when you believe you're going somewhere. You speak different when you know you're capable. You move with power when your belief is stronger than your fear. But this isn't about ego. This isn't empty confidence. This is about aligning with the truth that was buried beneath years of doubt, fear, and small thinking. Because the truth is, you were never average. You were conditioned to believe you were. So ask yourself, what do you believe right now? Not what do you say when the camera's on. Not what do you post when you're trying to look strong. I mean in the silence. I mean when the lights are off. What do you truly believe you're capable of? Because that belief is writing the story of your life. And until you change it, you will live the same chapter again and again. If you want to change your life, you must first change your mind. Clarity isn't a luxury, it's survival. You cannot hit a target you can't see. And the reason most people drift is because they've never defined the life they actually want. Vague dreams create vague results. But a vision backed by belief? That's how mountains are moved. Write it down. See it in your mind. Feel it in your bones. Speak it until your voice cracks. Walk toward it even when your legs shake. Because the world bends for those who believe in something so deeply, so unshakably, that quitting isn't even a language they speak. You are not here to survive. You are not here to conform. You are here to create, to build, to lead. To believe so powerfully in a better future that the present moment has no choice but to obey. Purpose isn't found, it's built. And it's built by belief. Belief that your life means something, that your existence is not an accident, that your dreams are not random, that the desires pulling at your soul are not delusions, they are instructions. Every step you take toward your purpose reinforces belief. Every time you act with intention, your mind takes note. And over time, belief becomes your default setting. But if you abandon your vision the moment you face resistance, you teach your mind that your dreams are optional. And the moment your belief becomes optional, your power becomes diluted. You must become a person who believes through storms, who believes through silence, who believes through rejection, loneliness, and pain. Because it's not hard to believe when everything is going well. It's when nothing is working that belief must rise. Let's get this straight. Belief alone is not enough. You don't just get what you believe, you get what you act on. You can believe you're powerful and still be broke if you don't move. You can believe you're meant for greatness and still waste your life if you never build. Belief must be backed by action. That's the difference between a daydreamer and a legacy maker. One imagines, the other executes. When you truly believe something, you behave differently. You make decisions from the place you're going, not the place you're in. You speak like it's already yours. You plan like it's already real. You suffer through what others avoid because your belief has made the outcome non-negotiable. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is belief in motion. It is faith with its boots on. It's the part of you that doesn't care how you feel today because it knows what you're building for tomorrow. Edison didn't invent the light bulb by getting hyped on a Monday. He did it by failing over 10,000 times and getting up every single time because he believed in what others couldn't yet see. That's the level. That's the standard. And that level is available to you. But you must kill the comfort. You must end the negotiation. Because belief without execution is delusion, seamlessly into consistency and mental conditioning. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards. And your standards are shaped by your belief about what you deserve. You don't need more inspiration. You need more commitment. Daily, relentless, focused commitment, repetition, routine, non-negotiable habits, because your life is the result of what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally feel. You train your body in the gym. You must train your mind in life. You think powerfully by thinking powerfully on purpose. You speak life into your day on purpose. You choose gratitude instead of complaining on purpose. You focus instead of scrolling on purpose. You invest in your growth instead of your distractions on purpose. This is how belief hardens into identity. This is how average people become extraordinary. Not by some big, dramatic moment, but by doing what must be done, especially when they don't feel like it. Flow into gratitude and emotional intelligence. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good emotion. Gratitude is power. When you train your mind to see abundance, you condition yourself to operate from strength, not scarcity, from momentum, not desperation. You stop saying, I have to, and start saying, I get to. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start realizing, this is happening for me. Gratitude shifts your entire frequency. It silences self-pity. It chokes out comparison. It grounds you in what's real and right now, so you can move with clarity toward what's next. You cannot be focused and resentful at the same time. You cannot grow and blame at the same time. You cannot build and complain at the same time. Gratitude puts you in the driver's seat. It reminds you, I'm not a victim, I'm a builder, I'm the author, I'm the force. Even in the storm, especially in the storm, find one thing to be thankful for. That's how you regain power when the world tries to take it from you. Now rising into adaptability and resilience, staying true to the flow, and when life throws you off course, and it will, remember this: belief is not fragile. Real belief bends, but it doesn't break. You're going to get hit. Dreams don't come easy, and most people stop because they think resistance is a sign to quit. It's not. Resistance is the mirror that shows you who you really are. Success belongs to those who can adapt without losing vision, who can pivot without abandoning purpose, who can take a punch and come back sharper. You think Lincoln didn't question himself when the country was collapsing around him? You think Mandela didn't doubt while sitting in a prison cell for 27 years? You think Oprah didn't feel pain when she was told she didn't have the right look for television? They all felt it, but they didn't let the storm drown their belief. They anchored it deeper. This is where you separate. This is where the world sees what you're made of. When everything is uncertain, but you still move with certainty. When everything is dark, but your vision stays lit from within. You must become the kind of person who doesn't flinch, who doesn't fold, who doesn't let outer chaos destroy inner clarity, because that clarity is what makes you dangerous. That belief, that quiet, unshakable, relentless belief, that is what makes you unstoppable. Understand? Belief is not something you get once and keep forever. It must be cultivated. It must be fed. It must be protected like fire in the wind. You feed it by learning, by staying humble enough to grow, by studying those who've done what you dream of, and modeling their mindset, not just their tactics. You protect it by watching who you let speak into your life. You protect it by removing voices that plant fear, not faith. You protect it by refusing to negotiate with self-doubt. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be committed. Committed to evolving, to learning, to becoming again and again, because who you are now is not who you have to stay. You can upgrade your belief. You can evolve your identity. You can transform the entire landscape of your life if you're willing to think new thoughts, feel new emotions, and take new levels of action. You are not stuck. You are being invited to rise. And that invitation is belief. So now here you are, not in some classroom, not in some perfect plan, but in the real world, in this very moment, where you must decide what kind of life you're going to build, not what you'll settle for, not what you've been told you should want, but what your soul has always known you were made for. Because this life, this existence, this brief moment on earth, you don't get it twice. You don't get a second draft. You don't get to rewind, you get one. And what you do with it is entirely shaped by what you believe you are worthy of, capable of, destined for. And so I ask you, what do you believe now? Not because of what you've seen, but because of what you're willing to decide, to commit to fight for. Belief isn't passive. Belief is violent. It disrupts. It tears down the old to make room for the new. It demands death to the weaker self so the powerful self can rise. You don't just believe in your dream. You believe in the version of yourself who can make it real. And if you don't yet, then today is the day that begins. Right now. You've been distracted long enough. You've played small long enough. You've let your past narrate your future long enough. The world will never give you permission to become great. It will never hand you belief. You must take it. You must claim it. This is your mind, your focus, your life, your time. You either dominate it or it dominates you. You either build the belief system that creates power or you inherit one that keeps you powerless. There is no in between. The truth is, belief is not something reserved for the chosen few. It is the doorway for anyone who dares to walk through. The poor man can believe. The broken man can believe. The lost, the rejected, the invisible, all can believe. And when they do, they rise. Because once belief takes hold, once it's planted, once it becomes the new standard, everything changes. You stop settling. You stop apologizing. You stop waiting for someone to see your worth because you already saw it in yourself. Belief is the first spark before the fire. It is the light that shatters the cave. It is the whisper that becomes a roar. It is the seed that becomes the oak. It is the thought that becomes the world, and it lives in you. But here's the secret they don't teach. Belief is not always loud. It's not always confident. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's scared. Sometimes it's just a voice saying, don't quit. But if you listen, if you trust it, if you nurture it with action and feed it with discipline, it grows into something unshakable. It becomes the armor that nothing can pierce. It becomes the compass that nothing can confuse. It becomes the weapon that nothing can match. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need more time. You don't need the right people to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself so deeply, so fully, so relentlessly that the world eventually has no choice but to follow. So from this moment forward, you will speak differently. You will move differently. You will think differently because you are not becoming something weak. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. You will walk into rooms with quiet certainty. You will show up to your vision like it's already real. You will choose focus over distraction, purpose over pleasure, discipline over doubt, because you are done living a life of maybe, of someday, of almost. That's over. Now it's time to build, to believe so fiercely, so unapologetically, so fully, that failure becomes just another step, that fear becomes just another teacher, that delay becomes just another form of direction. And when they ask you what changed, you'll say, I stopped waiting. I stopped doubting. I stopped asking for permission. And I started believing like my life depended on it, because it does. And you will know, deep in your bones, that belief was never just a word. It was the beginning of everything. You become what you believe, not someday, not eventually. Right now, so believe and become.